We woke up at about 4:30 this morning, coughing and spluttering with all the smoke in the house, and my husband opened the curtains and the sky was just orange. There's smoke, the flames. It was very frightening. And as you say, the wind has been absolutely gusting. I was worried because when I drove home from the studios last night, I saw the mountain on fire. Obviously, I drove right past it. And the wind was blowing so hard that our windows were rattling when we went to bed. And I said to my husband, this is not good. We're going to wake up in the early hours of the morning with this fire on our doorstep. And sure enough, we did. When we went outside to have a look, the live embers were actually blowing onto our driveway. So it was really quite frightening. We are just a few, probably about 500 meters away from that old age home that was evacuated this morning. So we really are very close. And there were flames of, I don't know, 30, 40 foot, about 50 meters away from us.
Amy, are you able to give us an idea how big is that old age complex? When we spoke to Theo Lane earlier from the Fire and Rescue Service, he could not really pin it down for us. He just said it's a big complex. How big is it?
It's massive, Dan, and I personally have not been in there, but I was just chatting to my mom when we arrived at their house this morning, and she said there are over 1,000 residents in there and a frail care unit. So it's quite a feat to have to evacuate all those residents, and that was done quite early. That was done probably at about 3 o'clock this morning, obviously at the first sign of danger.
Now, obviously, you and the children are safe, and we're good to hear that. And you're safely now in your mother's place. But from what you know, besides that old age complex in your street, are there other homes just like you this morning who were woken up by that smoke and the orange fire coming at them and had to leave their homes?
Absolutely, Dan. Obviously, the first thing you do is go outside and stand in the road and talk to neighbors, and everybody was out talking about it. And the traffic at 4:30 in our road was heavier than I've ever seen it. Cars pulling out. My husband was joking that most of the cars had their bike racks on, taking their bikes, their precious sports equipment. So obviously, people are in that situation where they're thinking, what do I take in a fire?